Why to reduce intake of salt and sugar? People whose diets are high in sodium, including salt, have a greater risk of high blood pressure, which can increase their risk of heart disease and stroke. Similarly, those whose diets are high in sugars have a greater risk of becoming overweight or obese, and an increased risk of tooth decay. People who reduce the amount of sugars in their diet may also reduce their risk of non-communicable diseases such as heart disease and stroke. When cooking and preparing foods, limit the amount of salt and high-sodium condiments, for example soy sauce and fish sauce. Also, try to avoid foods like snacks that are high in salt and sugars. Limit intake of soft drinks or soda and other drinks that are high in sugars, for example fruit juices, flavored drink and syrups, flavored milks and yogurt drinks, and choose fresh fruits instead of sweet snacks such as cookies, cakes and chocolate. Using salt and sugar alternatives in your diet could have significant benefits, including for your weight, your heart health, and your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Many of us are hooked on these flavorings, but reducing your intake of both sugar and salt could have a big impact on your life. If you put sugar in your tea every day or can't eat a meal without reaching for the salt shaker, think about how you could cut down, make some healthy swaps, and experiment with sugar and salt alternatives. The sugar lesson. Reducing your sugar intake and consuming more healthy sugar alternatives could help you to lower your risk of heart disease. Sugar is high in calories, which can lead to weight gain, increasing your risk of cardiovascular disease. Sugar consumption also raises your blood sugar levels. It indicates that biscuits are certainly one food that people may need to cut down on to reduce their sugar intake, but you should also be mindful of your consumption of 1. Cakes. 2. Chocolate. 3. Soups. 4. Sauces. 5. Salad dressings. 6. Cereal. 7. Flavored oatmeal sachets. 8. Fruit juice. 9. Smoothies. It's easy to find low-sugar items, classed as 5 grams of sugar or less per 100 grams, when you're shopping, as these will have a green sugar label under the traffic light labeling system. There are multiple alternatives available for sugar. 1. Honey. 2. Maple syrup. 3. Coconut sugar. 4. Date paste. 5. Applesauce. Let's talk about salt. Seeking out salt alternatives to reduce your salt intake can also have significant benefits for your health. In the UK, it's recommended that adults consume 6 grams of salt per day, but figures from Action on Salt show that the average person is actually eating 8.1 grams of salt each day. This may be lower than the WHO global estimate that people are consuming 9-12 grams of salt per day, but it's still much higher than it should be. WHO has set a global target to cut the amount of salt people across the world consume each day to 5 grams by 2025, believing that this could prevent as many as 2.5 million deaths each year. This is because a diet that's high in salt can increase the risk of 1. High blood pressure. This is because salt causes your body to hold on to more water, placing extra pressure on your blood vessel walls. 2. Stroke. One of the key risks associated with high blood pressure. 3. Heart disease. A diagnosis is more likely if you have high blood pressure. 4. Stomach cancer. Research from the World Cancer Research Fund has found that too much salt can damage the lining of the stomach, causing lesions that could become stomach cancer. 5. Osteoporosis. A diet high in salt can cause calcium to be lost in bones, increasing the risk of osteoporosis and associated breaks and fractures. 6. Vascular dementia. This type of dementia is caused by blocked blood vessels in the brain, which can be linked to high blood pressure, potentially caused by too much salt in the diet. 7. A high salt diet may also exacerbate diabetes symptoms. Look out for reduced salt alternatives while food shopping for an easy way to lower your salt consumption. Other healthy salt alternatives include 1. When seasoning your food, go for black pepper without the salt, or herbs and spices, either fresh or dried, to add extra flavor to your meals. 2. Try making your own stock by boiling chicken bones in water to release their flavor, instead of buying stock cubes or stock pots. 3. Swap mustard for reduced fat mayonnaise in sandwiches. 4. Make pasta sauces yourself from fresh tomatoes, basil, and garlic, rather than buying them in jars. 5. If you're eating out, go for tomato-based sauces with lots of vegetables rather than creamy or cheesy sauces with lots of meat. 6. Avoid full English breakfasts. Poached egg with avocado and tomatoes on wholemeal toast makes a tasty, filling lower salt alternative. Eat well with low sugar and salt. You can still eat some incredibly tasty food, and even homemade cakes, when you're using salt and sugar alternatives in your diet. Of course, you'll also be enjoying the benefits they can have on your health, weight, and the way you feel in yourself.